Hi, welcome to route number 20 on my Wainwright challenge. I've driven up a very tiny road to Wat End Lath car park. Today I'm hoping to walk route number 20 on my Wainwright challenge, which should intake 7 Wainwrights: Grange Fell, Great Crag, Eagle Crag, Sergeant's Crag, Ullescarf, Ambroth Fell and High Tove. So been a bit of palaver getting here, so I'm a little bit late already. Hopefully I'll get round in daylight. So we start the route by crossing this little humpty back bridge, and we're going to head straight up Grange Fell. So looking back at the car park, I've just had to scramble up some crags. I'm looking back over Wattendale town. They're pretty much pathless up until now, but I've got a bearing and I found a path at the top of the crags in the direction I need to be going. So I'm now taking this this path. Up until here it's been pretty much pathless. So it's pretty much pathless up here. I'm heading to what I think is the top of Grange Fell over there. Very boggy, they're wet underfoot. Give you a quick pano. I'll be heading back over in that direction, although it does look higher over there. The map shows Grange Fell in this direction. So this is the top of Grange Fell, and I'm looking back over there at Jopley How, which I'll go over and make my way around. Very, very difficult to decide where the top is. I think this is the high point looking around. Looking at the map, I seem to be in the middle of where it tells me Grange Fell is, so Grange Fell. Head to Jopley How. Yeah, so here we are. This is the top of Grange Fell. Looking back across, this is a high point quite easily, so ignore my other what I thought was the top. It's also known as Jopley How, I believe. Wow, got a bit of a view up here. That was a bit of a scramble again. So here we go, got to zigzag across there now. I'm cutting across country here towards Great Crag that you can see over there, and I'm on a path which is not shown on the map, but it's definitely going in the direction we need to be in. So I'm a little bit off-piste, although I am on a path, and that's the direction we need to be in. Great Crag over there. So I'm on the underside of Great Crag here. I'm going to skirt up. You can see what looks like a green path, the left hand side of the crag, and then hang a right and make my way to the top, then retrace my steps back to that footpath there. That's the plan. So here we are at the top of Great Crag. There's another cairn over there which I'll visit, but this one is clearly higher. Just look back. Grange Fell, where we've come from. Down there is a car park beside the town. So that's Dock Tarn that you can see there. You can see it from the top earlier. Path skirts around it. And I drop down to the roadside and climb back over Eagle Crag. So the path drops quite steeply now down the valley bottom, and you can see rising up the other side of the valley Eagle's Crag, where we're going next, and Sergeant's Crag over there. So they're our next destination, so we've still got a bit of descending to do before we start the next ascent. So I'm in the valley bottom now, looking up at Eagle's Crag and Sergeant Crag. Looking very, very imposing, aren't they? It's going to be a bit of a pull going up there. So I'm looking back down the valley. I've followed the stream all the way up the valley on the underside of Eagle Crag there, and I'm about to skirt up the back of Eagle Crag and ascend, and then I'm going over to Sergeant's Crag. So here we are, top of Eagle Crag. Now in the background you can see Sergeant's Crag, which is where we're heading to next. And we're going to have to drop back down the valley, I'm afraid. Just looking back from Eagle's Crag across at the tops that we've climbed already today. So here we are at the top, Sergeant Crag. Very windy. We've got a bit of a debate going on whether to head up to high rise and contour round, or drop back down the valley and climb up the other side. Can't decide what to do. I've decided to drop down to the valley bottom and climb back up the other side. Just around the back of them cliffs there's a footpath, so I'm working my way across. This is pathless at the minute. That was quite a nice grassy slope to descend down, very easy descending. Hopefully the climb up the other side will be not as bad as it looks. We'll see. So I'm at the back of the crag, and this path that I've picked up, which is shown on the map, is extremely rocky, scrambly, steep. So you keep going because I'm going to run out of daylight. So I'm looking back across the valley now at Sergeant Crag and Eagle Crag. We're heading up to the high point of the day. So there we go, that's Ulfskarf, the high point of the day. So we're going to just climb up onto this ridge line and then follow the ridge line up to the top. And 2 more to do after that, all being well. So the clouds have come in and we're at the top of Ulfskarf. This is the high point of the day, so it's probably fitting that we're in a cloud. So we're still following this line of fence posts, which is helping navigation, no end in this mist. Definitely helping navigation. So I'm still following these fence posts and just dropping out of the cloud, and I can see Bleetan down there in the bottom. So we're still following these. Look back, bit bleak up there. So just dropping down here, and I've got the first view of Amboth Fell. So I've left the fence post now, and we're going to cut across over there. Amboth Fell. It's pretty much pathless now. I'm following a very slight sheep trod, but it's it's very boggy. So I'm trying to meander my way across this small bog top as best I can. There's the top over there. Well, this has been a real slog. It's been pathless, it's been boggy, very squelchy, sheep trods everywhere. I've just come upon a path here, and that's Amboth Moor there. That's the top at last. So here we are, Amboth Fell, and in the background is High Tove. I can see a path, fortunately, so that's where we're off next. So here we are, High Tove, Wainwright number 7 for the day. That's where we've come from. Very, very boggy, very tough going that was. I'm going to go through the gate and drop down to the car park. So the car park down this very steep descent. I've only just made it in daylight, as you can see. think by the time we get to the car it'll be dark. Hi, welcome to Route 20 of my Wainwright challenge. Today is Tuesday the 26th of January and I parked in a National Trust car park at Wainwrights Tarn. It's a National Trust car park and it was £7.50 for the day. It started pretty much immediately up from the car park. I went up Grange Fell. It was pathless initially, although there were some good paths, just not in the direction I needed to go, to scramble up a fell. And once we got to the top, there was a variety of tops. I went to a couple of them, but realised that the one furthest left was the real top, and once you got there it was quite obvious it was much higher than the others. My initial route, I decided to follow a footpath round and down, but I realised that I could pick up a path which followed the wall, and it cut quite a big corner off, luckily. And it picked up the path I'd intended to be on, which was a good path, and it pretty much took you straight to the top of the next Wainwright, which is Great Crag. Two tops on the top of Great Crag, or should I say two cairns. I think the first cairn I visited was the higher one of the two. But then you again jump straight back onto the path that you'd come up. A bit of weaving to get back down to it, but you get onto it, and that path takes you all the way down to the valley bottom, and it becomes extremely steep. It's a well walked path, erosion control. It's just very, 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 very steep. Now at the bottom, I looked at the crag, Eagle's Crag, and I decided it wasn't safe to take Stan up the front side of Eagle Crag, which initially I'd intended to do. So I decided to follow the stream, which was a really good path, and indeed a path which I was going to meet again later. So I followed the stream, and eventually I hung a right, became pathless, and I meandered my way up the moor side, quite steeply in places, up to the top of Eagle Crag. Fantastic views, and the main view is behind you, which was Sergeant's Crag, and it wasn't too difficult to get to it. There's a nice path, very, very rugged top, Sergeant's Crag. From there I was in a bit of a dilemma, because I couldn't decide whether to drop back down the valley to the path I'd been on earlier, which was quite a long descent and equally high and steep climb back up the other side to Ulscarf, or head round to High Raise, towards High Raise, which meant I didn't lose any height, and it wasn't a great deal further. I decided to drop down the valley, and which was nice and grassy, so it was a nice easy descent, and pick up the path I'd been on earlier, and which rose very steeply around the back of the cliffs and crags until we got to the grassy moor top, which was very open, up to Ulscarf. Now I have to say I probably made the wrong choice. Look, once I'd got there and I saw how easy it would have been for me to pretty much contour round above the valley head, I may have been an extra mile, but it would have certainly saved an awful lot of descending and ascending, and probably quicker. Nevertheless, I didn't. I'm now on the moor top, which was very open, very boggy, but a reasonably good path following various fence posts, etc., all the way up to Ulscarf. High point of the day, but I was in deep cloud, so I didn't really get to see anything. Again, following lots of fence posts all the way back down for quite some time, until I came to the open fells for Armboth Fell, which it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's no paths nearby, So you've got to head across a very, very marshy, boggy fell top, which is pathless, so you're kind of meandering around peaks and troughs and bogs, and it's very, very difficult. Now, I probably left the fence post coming off of Ullscarf a little bit too soon, so I spent far too much time in the pathless section, and I think if I'd have hugged the fence a bit longer, maybe done a 90-degree turn to Armboth Fell top, then it'd have been easier. Nevertheless, we got there eventually, and there's a very good track around the back of it which takes you straight up to High Tove, the top, and a good track all the way back down to the car park, quite steep. It's been a very hard day, very hard day. I think it was hard underfoot. The climbs were steep, and there was 4,085 feet of ascent, which is quite a lot in 14 miles. The day took me 7 hours, and I only just got back to the car in daylight, but I did have various things go wrong this morning, which meant I had quite a late start. I didn't start till maybe 9:30, I think it was, and really I should have been getting going at 8 AM.